Breaking news update on the Legionnaires outbreak in Harlem. Sadly, a fourth person has died of the disease now. That's where we're starting tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm Natalie Pasquarella. David Ushery's off tonight. We now know there are 99 confirmed cases. 4 people have died. And just hours ago, we learned the locations of the cooling towers that have tested positive for the bacteria in these zip codes. Take a look. They include Harlem Hospital, a city-run health clinic, and a CUNY science building. Let's get out to News 4's Ida Siegel live in Harlem with the concerns tonight, Ida.
Yeah, and Natalie, we're just learning about these new numbers from the health department in the last half an hour. 4 people. It's gone from 3 people dead to 4 people dead. And now instead of 92 people infected, we have 99 people infected. And this comes just over an hour after the mayor and the health commissioner said in a news conference that the number of cases are finally stabilizing and that Harlem was safe once again. And yes, Natalie, the hospital where people are going to get treated for Legionnaires has been identified as having a cooling tower that tested positive for Legionella. That came out of that news conference this afternoon as well, and that's Harlem Hospital. 10 buildings, according to the health department, were found to have these cooling towers that have been infected with the Legionella bacteria. Other properties that tested positive include the New York City-owned Central Harlem Sexual Health Clinic, a City College science building, the New York City Economic Development Corporation, and there were also a number of privately owned buildings with cooling towers that tested positive for Legionella, which we know leads to Legionnaires. Now, the health department says more testing needs to be done to figure out which of these towers was actually the one infecting people with the disease. A positive test for Legionella does not necessarily mean that particular tower was making people sick, but it means that there is a possibility that it was. The city says 11 of the 12 infected cooling towers have been cleaned, and that 12th tower is being cleaned now as we speak. What they could not answer when I asked them at this news conference was, were these buildings inspected appropriately? Why were the towers allowed to get this bad, to develop the bacteria? And why aren't the impacted building owners facing penalties? The answers to those questions were essentially that the investigation is ongoing.
The building owners are in compliance right now, so that no one has been fined for the current cluster that is happening right now.
They're in compliance because they took steps after the fact. But does that mean that they were in compliance leading up to this point?
I'm commenting right now on the current efforts because of the urgency of the current cluster.
We absolutely need more information, and there needs to be an examination of all of the data that they have collected to find out why this is prevalent in Black and brown communities. Every time we hear about these outbreaks, particularly in that by the description of what they say the source is, these cooling towers.
Yeah, local leaders say they want stricter enforcement from the city, and the city says it wants that too. And in fact, the Department of Health says it was already developing these stricter guidelines before this most recent cluster. Well, the local leaders want to make sure that that in fact happens and that an outbreak like this does not happen again. Reporting live from Harlem, Ida Siegel, News 4, New York.